Seems like everything went according to plan. What are your key takeaways, aside from some pretty funny panda memes?
Hi, Emily. Thanks for having me today. And yeah, the merge happened a couple nights ago. Happened at midnight. Our entire team stayed up to watch it, as did a lot of the Ethereum community. I think the biggest takeaway was this was a monumental effort. It's part of a years-long roadmap, many years long, multi-year long roadmap by hundreds of stakeholders, and there's not one single centralized decision maker or anything like that. So the fact that it all came together as it did super smoothly is incredible. I think I would liken the merge to swapping out the engine of a plane that's already in the air. So you have the Ethereum blockchain. It's a multi-$100 billion ecosystem, and the fact that they're able to keep it live, keep it working, and swap out essentially one piece of the core and have no hiccups is incredible.
What does this actually mean for Alchemy's ecosystem?
That's a great question. So Alchemy, for those that don't know, is a blockchain developer platform. What that means, you can think of us as the Amazon Web Services for blockchain and Web3. What it means is we help developers and companies build applications much better by providing them a developer platform to build on top of. So we started the company about 5 years ago. 5 years ago, we've grown extremely rapidly in just the last few years. Today, we power about $150 billion in transaction volume. A big chunk of the top Ethereum, the top companies in blockchain and Ethereum and blockchain in general. And we also work with a lot of the biggest companies that are moving into the blockchain and Web3 space today, like Meta, Adobe, Shopify, and Stripe. What the merge means for Alchemy. So we're a developer platform. Our goal is to make sure developers always have access to the infrastructure that they need to build the applications that they need. The merge basically upgraded Ethereum to basically allow the network to run on proof of stake instead of proof of work. For us, it means making sure our services are 100% always up so that developers can have access to them, and that's exactly what we did.
So, of course, we've been talking about the merge for years, and now it's finally happened. What is the crypto and blockchain community buzzing about now? What's next?
Yeah. So the merge is just the first step, and again, a multi-years long roadmap. This first piece was about moving from proof of work, which uses energy, to proof of stake, which allows users to stake their tokens on the network, the value itself on the network. So that's something like a 99 to 99.95% reduction in energy usage for the blockchain, for the Ethereum blockchain, which is incredible. What's next is going to be a lot of investments into scaling. So there's been a lot of excitement. So Ethereum as a network is just getting started. It's going to get a lot faster. It's going to get a lot cheaper, and that's where a lot of the focus is going forward. The merge was the first step to unlocking the ability to perform some of these other technical upgrades in the future that make Ethereum faster and cheaper. And so those are going to be the areas of focus next.
Well, and it needs to get faster and cheaper in order for, apps, killer apps, if you will, to have that killer impact. But I still hear people say the killer app for crypto hasn't been made yet. What do you think that is?
That's a really great question, Emily. And that's something that everyone in this space is always working towards. I think the thing that's really interesting is all technologies start out slow, inefficient, and expensive. If you look at the internet, back in the 90s when we were using dial-up, you couldn't even load a picture. The picture would load over a couple of minutes, right, in pieces on a screen. But you fast forward to today, and not only do we have pictures, we have video, we have YouTube, we have TikTok. Something like this, you and me talking on a live stream, would be unimaginable if you zoom back to 1995. And so I would look at Ethereum and more widely the Web3 blockchain ecosystem with the same lens. It's just an early space, it's getting started, but what's going to happen is you have upgrades like the merge, which make the technology better. You have more developers build more applications. That in turn drives more investment into making the technology even better, and so on and so forth. And you get better and better and better applications, and eventually a killer application emerges. We're already seeing a lot of excitement around not just cryptocurrencies, stores of value, but also gaming and creator monetization and things like that. And I think that's just the beginning.
Alchemy has its own VC arm and grants program, and I'm curious what kind of projects you're backing right now, how the macro environment, a dreadful market situation is impacting your decisions, and whether valuations, are they coming down?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think there are valuations in the market, and that obviously has changed over the last 6 months. The really exciting thing about our ecosystem is developers have not stopped building. And the thing that's important for something like the blockchain Ethereum ecosystem is as long as developers are building, new applications will come out. That'll bring in more users. It'll bring in more developers. And the ecosystem and the technology gets better. So our ventures arm has seen actually a tremendous amount of growth. I think we're seeing 300% quarter over quarter growth in terms of deal velocity. We're seeing more and more people coming from traditional technology and other industries into the space to work on brand new things. And it's been very, very exciting. We also have educational properties that are aimed at bringing people into the space and teaching them how to develop in Web3 for free. And we're seeing lots of growth there. So all across the board, I think it's been a very, very positive outlook.
All right. There is a lot of negative sentiment out there, though, and I wonder how you're filtering that. Where do you see, problematic parts of the market? NFTs, for example, are really struggling, and you still got a lot of doubters out there who say this stuff is not real.
Yeah, it's a good question, and I think it's a very valid question. The thing that I'd say is, sometimes people say there are, like in different areas of the blockchain ecosystem or market, there are things that are maybe like a little scammy or fluffy. I would say that's not unique to this technology. It's very much what we've seen for all new technologies, the computer, the internet, mobile, web applications. It's always there. I think the important thing is to look at the higher level trends and to see what people are really excited about and what people are working on. And I think we're seeing a lot of really fundamentally valuable use cases start to emerge. And that's the thing that's really exciting.